Decluttering. Most people doing it completely wrong. It's one of the biggest reasons that homes sit on the market longer than they should. I think when I go into these houses, I see sellers that think decluttering means like just donating a few bags of clothes or organizing a drawer that's junk in it. But buyers don't care about these things. What they see or don't see determines how fast and how high your home will sell. Yes, it's that important. So if you declutter the wrong things, your home will still feel heavy and uninviting, and buyers will just either skip it, they'll scroll through and just skip it, or they'll just give you a low offer. So I've seen sellers lose tons of thousands of dollars because of this one mistake. So in this video right now, I'm gonna show you how the real reason decluttering feels so hard, the stuff you're wasting time on, and the high impact areas that buyers fall in love with, okay? And stick with me till the end because I'm gonna share the exact strategy my clients use to sell faster and for top dollar. So let's get to it. So I'm gonna talk about why it feels so hard to declutter. Listen, I get it. Think about it. When you hold say a box of kids' trophies or a stack of letters from your mom, oh my God, I have so many of those. I know it's hard to get rid of them. So you feel like you're not holding clutter, that you're holding on to something that from the past or who you were, or someone you still want to connect to. It's kind of neuroscience. It's a proven thing. Studies show that when we try to let go of sentimental objects, our brain lights up in the same areas that process pain and loss. So that's why you freeze up or even feel physically resistant when you start decluttering. I get it. It's not a weakness. It's human. But buyers don't see memories. They don't want to see your memories. They see a lot of weight. They see projects. They see stress. So if your home feels heavy, they just walk away. Or they just, like I said, cut your offer. You don't want that because of some stuff, right? That's easy. This is the easiest, least expensive thing to do to your house. Let's get to it. So what are the most common areas or categories of avoided clutter? What things that are the hardest to deal with, okay? I think there's 5 of them. And also I'll talk about why sellers avoid them, okay? 1, I'm gonna talk about aspirational items. The jeans you swear you fit into again. Or the exercise bike you start using next month that has stuff hanging all over it. Or the craft supplies that you'll turn into a Pinterest masterpiece, okay? Aspirational clutter, it exists. It makes you feel guilty every time you see it. You don't want it there when the buyers walk through your house. They'll pick up on that energy, all right? Very important, so write that down, aspirational. Do you have any? Comment below. Second thing is, I call it sentimental clutter. Sentimental clutter. It's one of the toughest, I think. Kids' artwork, heirlooms, old letters, things I talked about earlier. These items connect to your identity, which is why letting go feels like betrayal in a sense. But the truth is that buyers don't want to buy your memories, guys. They want to create their own. So that's why you got to pack it up, put it in a box, and just bring it to your next destination. Next thing I want to talk about is disliked but functional. Disliked but functional. What is that? Say you've got that ugly but perfectly good lamp or the chair your aunt gave you that you secretly hate or you keep it only because it works. Buyers see mismatch. They think, oh, the house is dated or nothing matches, not good. So get rid of mismatch and let's I'd rather have the room vacant and I can virtually stage it, okay? So next would be obligation items. Obligation items, yep. There's the gifts you never like but feel guilty discarding, like the wedding china you never use, or the vase from your neighbor, the stack of books that you never read. Keeping them just clutters your home, it clutters your mind. You see the book, like, I want to read that book, but you see it all the time, it just kind of weighs down on you. And lastly, I'm going to call this duplicates. Let's call it duplicates. 4 spatulas, I know you might have those, 3 sets of towels, 2 blenders. Down below, tell me which ones you have. Duplicates scream chaos, not abundance. Buyers see jammed shelves or assume there's no storage. Here's the secret. If you can identify which category an item belongs to, you can release it a lot easier, guys. You're not just tossing stuff, you're making a conscious decision that clears space for your new chapter, makes your home more appealing to buyers. Works. So which ones are you? Are you aspirational? Are you duplicates? Are you dislike? Things like that. Which one are you? Which one do you have the most of? Comment below. Love to hear your thoughts. So what about the wrong stuff? I talked about the wrong stuff to declutter. What about that? Where should I start if I'm starting in the wrong places? So the wrong stuff you're decluttering. Where do most people start that's wrong? I think in the wrong places, the closets. I mean, closets have to happen, but I can't tell you how many times the seller has said to me, Diane, I donated 5 bags of clothes and I think that's it. Sure, that might feel good, but that's not all we need to be doing. Buyers don't care how many shirts you own. What they care about is whether the closet looks spacious. You can donate half of your clothes, but what's left could still be jammed shoulder to shoulder, so it screams not enough storage. So the whole thing about closets is storage. I like to get nothing on the bottom nothing on the top, and the shelves really barely empty, things like that. It's chaos when people see overstuffed shelves with sweaters, things like that, and buyers don't count items, they just notice presentation. So a closet that feels stuffed, even if you worked for hours, sends the wrong message. You've got to really work on your closets. But when you're working on your closet, you have to do it the right way. That's why you need to call your Real Deal realtor in to tell you exactly what you need to be doing. Also, a lot of people are wasting their time spent organizing a junk drawer. Pens without caps, batteries that haven't worked since 20 years ago. The buyers are not going to be opening your drawers. So the idea is that if it's not that time of year for that particular thing, like the holiday, get rid of the holiday decorations, put them in storage. Get rid of your winter clothes if it's summer. Get rid of your summer clothes if it's winter, because you're not going to be living there at that time. Okay? And the closets are kind of a low impact decluttering, but it doesn't really change the buyer's impression of your home unless you do it right. Okay, so we got to talk about that. That's what I do in my room by room reviews. I go over with exactly how we're going to declutter your home, give you a nice plan and everything. So what should I declutter first? What are the high impact zones? You want results? Focus on these high impact areas. These are the spaces that buyers see and emotionally react to immediately. All right, let's start with surfaces. Kitchens and bathrooms sell homes. Clear the counters, 1 coffee maker, not 3. No toaster, blender, knife block, and mail pile, all fighting for the same space. Same with the bathrooms. Buyers don't want to see 15 bottles of shampoo and toothbrush collection. Surfaces should feel clean and neat and airy, and just really do some real deep cleaning here in these areas. Clean is so good, okay? Clean, clean, clean. Walls, your family photo walls has to go, guys. Graduation pictures, religious items, political items, deer heads, baby's first artwork. They make buyers feel like guests in your life, not potential owners. So keep walls minimal. You don't have to have a lot of art. If you paint your wall, just remove everything and just put a thing in a box and put it to your new place, okay? Closets and storage areas are next, but you're flipping the script here, because instead of stuffing everything in, we're going to show off the space. For example, in your closets, to manage that area, but use matching hangers, group clothes by color, leave gap between items, fold sweaters neatly, or get rid of the sweaters if it's summertime. Keep the floor clear, like I talked about earlier. Have at least 1 or 2 shelves that are empty. Same with the pantries. They should look organized and neat and inviting. Get rid of all the stuff you have. Who here has stuff in their pantry that's expired? A lot of you. Comment below, we all have it. I just threw 7 things out the other day. And really important, this is one of my best strategies, is garage and basement. Buyers absolutely love a clean garage and a decluttered basement. Because if you have a cluttered garage or basement, it just screams out no storage or unfinished projects. Clean it, paint it, sweep it. Don't store boxes and stack them in these areas unless you absolutely have to. If you have a big basement, we're going to put them all in one area. Don't say, oh, let's line them up all along the walls. No, we line them up in one area. So we can also talk to you when we come to your house, or if I do a room by room virtually, if you're not in my area, show you how to stack things in your house instead of putting it in storage. So I know decluttering is emotional. So what's this battle that people go through? Why do people resist? It's not because they're lazy. It's more of an overwhelming thing, don't you think? The fear of losing memories, the fear of not knowing where to start, the fear of drowning in projects. It kind of paralyzes people. So the key is to break it down into zones. Don't say I have to declutter the house. That's impossible in one day. Say today, I'm going to take these 3 hours, I'm going to clear this counter and work just in this one area of the kitchen. Or I'm going to tackle 1 shelf in the closet. Just small wins. Build momentum, all right? Another tip I have is to take photos of sentimental items. This is my favorite tip. People love this. Take photos, yes, of sentimental items. What does that mean? You don't have to keep every physical thing to keep the memory. This one strategy has helped countless of my clients let go without guilt. And what we do is you take the thing, all the pictures, and I help them take pictures, or we come over and do it, and then we put it into a frame. The pictures flip, through the frame, and then they could take that to their new house, and they could feel all the memories of all the things that they got rid of, and not having to bring it along with them. That's a pearl, guys. And if you don't have a real deal agent in your neighborhood, let me know. I can help you find one. Go to realdealagent.com, because many realtors do not know this stuff. They just want to sell your house, get a commission check, guys. That's the way it is. But anyway, let's move on to why the buyers psychologically need you to declutter. So they'll pay you more money, because they buy on emotions first and logic second. Okay, I'll say it again. Emotions first, logic second. Too much you in the house, they can't imagine themselves there. But if you neutralize and stage it and declutter, they instantly picture their future in their house. I can remember this one colonial. It sat on the market over a year with another realtor. They did nothing. The realtor just sat there. It had dated wallpaper, heavy furniture, and clutter everywhere. We stripped the wallpaper, painted it in our neutral tones, decluttered every room, and staged it, lightly staged it. And within days, we had multiple offers. Same house, same location, but it was all in the presentation and had to be with the clutter. Buyers could see themselves living there, because the first impression is online, right? The pictures, so we have to make sure it feels good and light and airy with the pictures. That's why we do some fake staging when we take pictures, and that's another video. But we take pictures, move stuff out of the pictures, take a picture and then put stuff back. But only put the things back that you want for showings, because you stage for pitch photos one way and you stage for showings another way. And that's a pearl. And that one is another video. I think I've done a video like that before. So when you say decluttering, and then I say the word staging, there's kind of two different things. They're really not the same, because decluttering is removing and staging is kind of replacing with purpose. So if you just strip everything out, you risk creating a home that feels cold and empty and lifeless. Buyers don't connect with empty spaces. They connect with possibilities. Not saying you can't sell a house that's vacant. I've done it many times. It's how you make it in the presentation. And that's where my book, Model Home Mindset, comes in play. Once you declutter, then you can bring in some warmth, some pillows, or lamps, neutral decor, maybe a plant or two, something green, to create a story. That's what we do. We create stories. We're storytelling. You're not decorating, okay? You're showing a lifestyle buyers want to step into. So you have to really be in touch with today's buyers and what they're looking for. And there's a whole video could be on that, just right there. So what are some actionable decluttering strategies? How do we do this thing? Well, there is a storage strategy, right? You can rent a small storage unit, do it all the time for my clients. We get the pods in there, stuff it all in there, and it goes away. Think of it as pre-packing for your move. You have to do it anyway. So get ahead of it. It's so important. And when I go into houses that we're not selling with another realtor and there's stuff everywhere, I say, it's time to pack now. Divorce yourself from your asset and then it will sell. And that's what happened. That's why when I first got into this business, 1993, the market, this market is no different than it was. I've survived many ups and downs just using all my strategies. Okay, everybody's freaking out right now that, oh my God, I can't sell my house. But you know what? Over the last 5 years, your home has appreciated. So get with the program, get things done. You gotta do some of these things. And you have to start earlier than you think. You can't just wing it today. You have to give yourself at least a 6-month lead. I like a year. Most of my clients call me with a year before they go on the market. And that's what I do with my YouTubers when I go into your house to help you stage it. We do it a year in advance. Another strategy I have is, I call it the rule of 3. No more than 3 items on a counter, table, or shelf. 1 lamp, 1 plant, 1 book. I like only 1 if it's a small table, not just a lamp, but just not so many things all together. The closet, I've got a closet hack for you. I talk about this already, about taking half your clothes out, but then organize the rest by color and type, all right? Matching hangers make a world of difference. I talked about selling in the spring, remove all your winter clothes, selling in the winter, remove all your summer clothes, same thing. So that's a really great thing to do if you're trying to declutter your closet. Just get some of the stuff out of there that doesn't need to be there, you're not wearing them. And in the pantry, we talked about that a little bit, but I think in the pantry you could do better than just organizing. You can group things in bins or baskets and label them. Buyers love illusions of order. They love it when you organize things and put labels on it. Oh my God, buyers love that, and they think that you are the boss and the home. They just instantly fall in love with that stuff. It's amazing how that is. And the garage tip, don't line your floor with boxes. Get shelving. Buyers associate shelves with organization and space. Best to clear out the garage. That's why you have a storage place. Just keep what you really need, but organize that. Make sure everything is organized and with labels. Like even your electric box, label which they're for. People love that stuff too. Just organize different things where things go and think, oh, it's because buyers never owned a home before, right? You have to help them and not make them feel scared that they're buying a home. You know what I'm saying? I know all this sounds kind of overwhelming, but it can be. That's why I have some good news for you. You don't have to do it alone. And when I work with home sellers, I just don't say, go declutter. I actually go through the house. We do a room by room review. Each room has a separate plan. We organize and think of every space together and point out exactly what buyers will notice, what should be packed away now, what we can stay for staging, and what might go into storage. You have your 3 levels of things, like where they're going to go. That way, instead of a vague to-do list, you walk away with a clear step-by-step plan that makes your home look like a model home. That's why I got this all from Model Home Mindset. Model home because my father was in real estate. I was 5 walking through the model homes with him, showing people around. All I knew was neat and clean, and that's what sells. And that's why when I walked into my first listing, I said, we have to paint this, do that. And it was on the market for a whole year ahead of time, and I sold it within 25 days when the market average was 140, and that's in 1993. 1993, I sold 15 homes starting in May. It was only 6 months in the business because I went after expired listings. I fixed them up, sold them in 25 days. That's right. If you think this market is bad, that was really bad, okay? So you have to do these things, guys. This is not 2022-3 when you couldn't do nothing and then you could sell your home. But even in those times during COVID, we still did not fall away from our plan, our book, our Home Selling Sharks, and the Model Home Mindset. We didn't fall aside from that. We did exactly everything we normally do, and our sellers were getting 100 to 200 crazy numbers over asking because of what we did. So once you have this room by room review, we're not going to leave you hanging. So if you are, say, for example, in Illinois, I'll personally vet the right agent in your area. Obviously, if you're in my area, I can help you. But we want to make sure you're getting someone who's a listing-based realtor who has a listing-based business, not an agent who also works with buyers and sellers, just who works with listings. And then we interview them, make sure they're a good fit. And then we hand them all the notes from our session, and then they know exactly what you want. So this new agent will come in once you feel like you're comfortable with them, ready to carry out the plan. All you have to do is go to realdealagent.com, fill out a quick form. I'll guide you through the process from decluttering to connecting with the right agent, all right? Whether you're down the street or across the country, we give the same hands-on detailed guidance. And that's what you're looking for through this process of decluttering and understanding what buyers want today in this market. It gives you the edge over other sellers because competition is fierce out there. But the great thing is once you get past the emotional resistance, decluttering feels incredible. My clients tell me they sleep better, they feel lighter, and they finally feel in control of their home again. I had one client who just broke down crying after she finally let go of decades of clutter. We did the picture thing for her. She just watched it every night before she went to bed, and she really loved that. And then she laughed because the home sold for over asking in one weekend. And that's not during the pandemic. That's just the power of doing it right. That happened in 2013. I was in 2013, 12, 11, 10. That was after the Great Recession of real estate. And we were still selling homes in record time. See, my strategies that I have, my 8 secret strategies in my Home Selling Sharks book and this book here, Model Home Mindset, are proven strategies and can work in any market. So, decluttering is not just about clearing stuff out, it's about unlocking the value buyers actually see. And what I said before is that the mistake that most sellers make is spending weeks on the wrong area. So make sure we're doing it right. Target the high impact spaces, service walls, closets, garages, basements. Create the kind of transformation buyers will notice immediately in the photos and schedule a showing. And then you pair that with our staging and our photos, and suddenly your home doesn't just look tidy, it feels like a model home. Feel like a model home. It doesn't have to be a model home. You have to redo your kitchen and bath. Don't worry about that. You just want buyers to be able to imagine themselves in your home. And the bigger picture is even the best staged homes won't sell if it's out of sync with buyers today. That's why you have to check out my next video. It's called Boomers Can't Sell Their Homes, and it's about to get worse. So in it, I break down why so many sellers are struggling in today's market and what you can do now to avoid getting stuck when it's your turn to sell. Check it out.